What really happens in those moments after everything falls silent, when the heart stops beating and the body begins to cool? Is that truly the end? Or is it the beginning of something we've never fully understood? For thousands of years, religions and spiritual traditions have spoken of a mysterious pattern, a transition of the soul through two sacred time periods, 9 days and 40 days. In this episode, we'll show you what ancient Vedic knowledge, Tibetan teachings, and early Christian traditions say happens to the soul after death, what it feels, what it experiences, and how our thoughts and the thoughts of those we leave behind can influence everything. Stay until the end, because we won't just show you spiritual concepts, but reveal how close we may have already come to death, without even knowing it. It often starts in silence, a final breath, a stillness in which everything seems to stop, and yet something begins. According to Vedic teachings, death is not a sudden break, but a gradual process, a transition. As the body begins to shut down, consciousness moves through an experience that many describe during near-death episodes, a feeling of detachment, of separation, a shift in the perception of time and space. Ancient texts speak of the soul dissolving in layers. First the senses, then awareness, and finally the sense of self. A person may feel heaviness, then warmth, then the slow release from everything physical. The eyes, ears, skin all go silent. And then something new begins. A bright light, a sense of clarity, a kind of awakening in another world. Many spiritual traditions, from Hinduism to Tibetan Buddhism, describe this transitional moment almost identically. In those first few seconds, the soul realizes it hasn't died. It has only left what it mistakenly believed was itself, the body. It sees itself. It sees the people in the room. It hears everything, but no one hears it. A moment of pure realization and deep loneliness. And then, the journey of the first 9 days begins. The soul has left the body, but it hasn't departed completely. In many spiritual traditions, from ancient India to the Orthodox Church, it is said, for 9 days the soul remains close to the living. It drifts through the house, sees its loved ones crying, hears every word, feels every emotion, and yet, it cannot make itself known. It is a time of release, and also of the deepest connection. During these 9 days, the invisible becomes almost tangible. Many report vivid dreams, sudden sense, cool drafts, or the distinct feeling that someone is there, not as a ghost, but as a quiet presence. In Vedic teachings, this phase is called the apocalypse of the self, a spiritual state of emergency. The soul begins to understand that life, as it knew it, is over, but it cannot let go just yet. And here, many traditions say, the living can still send something powerful. A prayer, a final thought, a heartfelt forgiveness. Much is decided in this phase, because the emotions of those left behind, whether peace or pain, love or regret, act like a magnet for the soul. They can hold it back or gently guide it onward. 9 days, suspended between two worlds, between memory and the first true farewell. After the 9th day, a new phase begins. The soul, now a bit more detached from the physical world, enters what many cultures describe as an inner space, a realm in between, where it begins not just to see, but to feel what it leaves behind. For 40 days, the soul journeys through a field of memories, emotions, fears, and desires, everything it gathered during its lifetime. Vedic texts describe this period as a deep inward journey through one's own existence. Not like watching a film, but like walking through a space where every action, every suppressed thought, and every emotion reappears. Not as external events, but as raw, felt energies. Buddhist teachings call it the bardo, Christians speak of judgment, and the Vedas describe it as a subtle tunnel through which the soul moves. Its direction? Determined not by possessions or status, but by where the heart was most focused, by intention and by truth. On the 40th day, or more precisely, the 49th day after death, this process completes. The soul looks back one final time, and then, many traditions say, a decision is made. It's not a judgment, but the beginning of a new task, a new journey, into a form that matches what the soul has become. After 49 days, according to many spiritual traditions, the journey between worlds ends. But what begins then is not silence, but a phase of deep inner transformation. The soul, as the Vedas explain, enters a space of spiritual preparation. It is shown what it has learned, what it leaves behind, and what comes next. Here, it is decided in what form and under which circumstances it will reincarnate, not as punishment or reward, but as resonance. The energies cultivated in life, love, compassion, greed, fear, truth, they shape the body the soul will wear in the next life, whether as human, animal, or in another realm of existence. The Bhagavad Gita teaches, as a man thinks in his final moment, so shall he become. That's why so many spiritual traditions emphasize the moment of death. What did the person think? What did they feel? Was there fear or surrender? Clinging or letting go? That final thought, many believe, has more impact on the next incarnation than any action before it. And yet, this process is not always linear. Tibetan Buddhist texts describe the soul moving through dreamlike images, symbolic scenes, metaphorical trials, and glimpses of past lives. Some see light, others see family. Some wander through inner landscapes, reflections of their soul's essence. Eventually, the transition begins. The soul sees its new family, its conditions, even the country it will return to. This moment is described like an actor leaving the stage after a long role, preparing for the next one. Not everything is predestined, but much is prepared. And then, the cycle begins again. A new body, a new name, and perhaps a faint echo of memory. What remains when everything else is gone? When body, name, possessions, and roles fade, and only we remain? Today, you've seen what many spiritual traditions have whispered for centuries, softly, carefully, yet with profound clarity. That death is not the end, but a continuation, in stages, in layers, in energy. The first 9 days, when the soul lingers near the living, feeling our grief, our love, our presence. And the 40 days after, when it journeys inward, through the life it once lived, not as a spectator, but as a traveler in its own story. What we think, say, and do, it doesn't just shape our life, it shapes our death and perhaps in what lies beyond. This episode isn't a conclusion, but an invitation to feel, to remember, to reflect. What do you think about the soul's journey? Are there similar rituals in your family or culture? Or have you experienced something that still defies explanation? Tell us in the comments. Your story might be the beginning of a new Zeitgeist episode. Subscribe to our channel to keep walking this path with us through stories that touch the heart and questions that stay. Share this video with someone who might need comfort, or hope, or simply wants to feel that life is more than what we can see. Until the next episode, your Zeitgeist team.